What's up guys, welcome back to COVID Clinton. So in this video we'll be starting the chat app, the real-time chat the real-time chat application with Django. The tutorial starts right now. So now I'm going to do a brief overview of how the application works. So without further ado, we're starting right now. So now I have two different users. You can see his name is Clint and his name is Ade over here. These are two different users. I'm using two different browsers to replicate two different users on two different devices. You understand? You can see Clint has his list of friends down here. You can see Pep, Mary, John, Thomas. These are his friends. And if you check over here, Ade has his list of friends, Mary, Clinton. You understand? So if you watch closely, Clinton has Ade as a friend, which is Pep Guardiola, and Ade also has Clint as a friend, which is Clinton Wachiko. So right now, Clinton wants to send Ade a message. So he's gonna pick. This is Ade up here. So Pep Guardiola. So he's gonna click on Ade right here. And if you watch, as I send the message, you see this zero going to update here, trying to tell Ade that Clinton just sent him a new message. So just watch here. I'll simply say I Ade, or I Ade, or I Pep. So send. Watch closely, you can see that Clinton just sent Ade a new message. So Ade can check it out now, and it sees the message. You understand? If you notice, the received messages are on a different color. The background color is on the slate blue, while the sent message is on the right, is on the left hand side, and the background color is purple. So if what closing now, Ade can reply Clinton and saying, "Oh, I'm cool, Clint. I am cool. You understand? I'm cool. I am cool, Clint." Understand? Trying to reply Clinton. So if he sends it back, because the Clinton received it, Ade sent Clinton a message, Clint received it, and Clint can simply say, "That's good. That okay. That was right. That's good. Sorry for this typing. That's good." Okay, and Clint sends back. You can see Clint sent Ade received. You understand? So I'll show you how to build a real-time chat application with Django. You understand? So in this video, I am not using channels or WebSockets. I'm not going to be using Django channels or WebSockets in this time, because those stuff were it's quite complicated in this time, because I tried it. The channels, the WebSocket kept on breaking. It kept breaking and breaking. So I had to look for an alternative. So I decided to use JavaScript to make this application real time. So I'm going to explain everything to you step by step. It's not as difficult as you think. You understand? Explain everything to you, and you see how easy it is to make a chat app with Django and JavaScript on the side. Understand? So without further ado, we are getting started right now. So do also like this video, share it and subscribe. In this thing, you can also share your boys some love on Patreon, link down below. So we are getting started right now. I've been hearing me call Ade and Clint. In instance, I'm going to explain in instance. So this is Ade right here. His username is called Ade, but his real name is Pep Guardiola. You understand? So the same thing for Clint. His username is called Clint, but his real name is called Clinton Wachiko, just like you have on Facebook, on different social media platforms. In this time, most times people have different username from their real name. In this time, so Ade right here, you see here is Pep Guardiola. You see on Clinton's friend. In this time, that's his real name is Pep Guardiola. Understand? And Clinton, his username is called Clint, and his real name is called Clinton Wachiko. I just wanted to clarify that. So now we'll start writing our code right now. The link to the source code of this application is down below. You can find the link down below. The link to the source code in the stand. Check it down below. Okay, so I just made a new Django project in the stand. So this is the default web page I give to you in the stand. This is the default web page. So right here, so there's the stuff here in the stand. So if you look down on the left, I have a Django project called My Chat. Our app is called My Chat app in the stand. So we're going to start building. So right now I need to register the app in the settings.py file, and that is inside the Django project. Open the settings.py file. I need to register that app in the list of installed apps in the stand, just right there. So let's do that. So it's called My Chat app. Okay, My Chat app. Okay, that's fine. So after we've done this now, I think we can start creating our views. Understand? So okay, let's start creating the views.py file. So go down to the chat app, so open views.py file. Okay, views.py. The system is kind of quite slow this morning. Okay, so right now I'm going to create the index view. So let's just say def index. I'm going to call this request instance end instance. After doing this, we're going to return the templates. Let's just say return render. Return render. Just simply say requests. Now, template is going to be the name of the app, my chat app / index.html. For now, this template does not exist, and we are going to have our context data just there, and right here we are going to declare that context data should be equal to an empty dictionary instance. So we have this right now. Okay, so now let's go create the urls.py file. So we are going to make sure we have, if we work closely, the Django project as a urls.py file. So right here we need to create one for the chat app, for the my chat app. So just open and click a new file called urls.py file, urls.py, and I'm going to just import, say, from Django.urls. Need to import paths, and need to also import the views module. Say from dot simply refers to the current folder. So from dot import views. Okay, now I'm going to create this variable called URL patterns. Should be equal to this, and right here we're going to simply say path should be, for now I'm going to say this an empty string and simply say views.index, and I'm going to give it a name as we put equal to index instead. So now it should be a string, index. So right now I need to make sure that Django knows about this file we just created instance. So go down to the your Django project called your Django project. So open it up and open the urls.py file. So just at the bottom of the page now we need to make sure Django knows about that file. So we're going to say paths. So whenever we visit chat, understand, we'll be taken down to that urls.py file we created. Understand? You get. So we're going to simply say include. You should know this instance by now, please. Instance. So we're going to say my chat app .urls .urls. So make sure you import the include function. So say include. So I think that's perfect. Okay, so now what we want to do now is that we need to make sure we create some templates. Understand? So I'm going to create a template in this in the chat app folder. So I'm going to create a new template called just templates instead, called templates. So right then I'm going to create a folder instead of this template. Sorry, I was going to create a new folder called templates, not a new template instead. I created a new folder called template, and in the templates folder I'll create another folder with the name of our chat app instead, called my chat app. Understand? So that's it right there. So now instead of this folder I'm going to create a new file called index.html. You can see that because if you work closely, our views.py is simply returning a template, and this template is inside a templates folder, then the my chat app before you get to the file. Understand? So in the index.html there, so right there I'm going to simply just return this. Now let's say index page. So index page, let's see everything is working. So let's run the server again. So now currently running the server. Okay, so right now our server is running successfully. In the stand, so we need to visit this URL right here when we created. So you must always prefix the URL with chats before you can access the paths in this file. You understand? So go to the browser right now and simply say 127/chats. For now we don't have any other URL there. Okay, it's saying let's remove the / enter. You can see now we have index page. That's what we have on the index page. Understand? If you check closely, that's what we have now. So everything is perfectly fine. So right now we're going to go down to our models.py file. Let's construct the models. Understand? So right there, open the models.py file. We are going to simply have only 2 model classes. So I'm going to create a profile model. So before I do that, I'm going to import the user mode. I'm going to simply say import sorry, from Django dot contrib dot auth dot models import user. Understand? So after we've imported the user model, so we are going to simply create our custom model classes. I'm going to say class profile, understand, profile, and so I'm going to say models dot model. Okay, so now right there, our profile is going to have it's going to be linked to the Django user model. Understand? So I'm going to link the profile model to the Django user model. So I'm going to say user should be equal to models dot one-to-one field, I'm going to simply say user, and on delete. Whenever we delete the user mode, so whenever we delete the user instance, we want to make sure that the profile is also deleted instance. So whenever we delete the user instance, we want to make sure that the profile for that user is also deleted. So I'm going to say on delete should be equal to model.cascade, models.cascade. So cascade meant. Okay, so now I'm gonna give it this a name attribute to be equal to a child field, models dot child field. So max length, let's say 100. And what else? Okay, so we're gonna add one more attribute called picture. So I'm gonna say picture, just pics instead. Let's just say call it pics. We're gonna simply say models dot image field. So models dot image field. So we are going to call, so we're going to link that. So we are going to simply say upload to. So maybe we are going to store our images. We're going to simply say upload underscore to should be equal to img image instance. So after we've done this, now I think we can add one more field. We're going to simply say default. Let's just say blank equal to true and blank equal true, and null should be equal to true. So if the user does not provide an image, it's fine, understand? So that's it for now. Okay, so now we need to return the string function. So I'm going to say string def underscore xtr underscore. So I'm going to say self, and I'm going to simply return the name of the profile. So say return self.name. So return self.name. So now I'm going to create the friend. So we want to create a friend model, so we're going to say class friend. So we're going to say friend, understand? So friend, I'll simply say models.model. And now for now we are going to just pass. So for now I will not add any, I don't want any attributes for now, understand? So we just put this pass keyword there for now, so avoid any form of errors. Later we'll add the fields for the friend. So before I migrate, I want us to set up our template and static files, understand? So let's do that right now. You get, so right now I'm going to create, so we already have a template called index.html. So I'm going to create two more templates, the base.html and the detail.html, understand? So let's do that. Detail.html, so thing done. Okay, so I already have the templates. I have the templates already, so I'll simply copy from my previous code and paste here. I'll paste the templates here so you can get things faster, I understand. So my previous code, which is over here, so I'm going to copy the base.html. So let's copy that, so to save time, understand? So base.html, so I'm going to paste that here. Okay, so that's fine. So right now I'll do the same thing for the index and for the detail page, understand? So I'll pause and copy and paste, so we come back again. Okay, right now we have our chart, we have the templates available, understand? We already have the templates, understand? So right now these are base.html file where the other files will inherit from, understand? So for this to work, we need to have a block, understand? So I call this block content. So right now I'll go down to the index.html and then try to inherit from that base.html by doing extend. So I'll simply say extend. So if they are in the same directory, you simply say extend. So extend should be, sorry for that, extend, and that should be base.html. So now we're gonna put everything you see here inside of that block content. Understand? You know we have this block content. So do the same thing over here. So let's say block content end block. Oh, end block. So that's wrong. Okay, end block. So now copy everything downwards. So copy everything to the end. So and let's paste inside of this content block. So perfect. So now we'll do the same thing for the detail page. So we extend from the base templates base.html, and after we've done this, now we'll do the same block content we did for the index page. So say block content and end block. So now copy everything from down. So copy everything and simply I'm gonna paste it inside here. So everything is perfect right now. So let's see how the index page looks like. So go down to the browser. So refresh this page. Let's see. Oh, I've not added the styles yet. It's not going to look good, you understand. So since template does not exist at chat base.html. So let's see what the problem is. So I made a mistake somewhere. I should have added the template, this folder called my chat, before this index.html. I should have done that. So I'll simply say my chat app, because if you check closely, this folder is inside of this folder called my chat app. So /. So that's it. So now we just simply copy this. Sorry, Ctrl Z, copy, and let's paste for the detail view. So I hope everything should be perfect this time. So refresh. You can see we have everything, but there is no styles. It's looking ugly. So we need to go add some styles to make this beautiful instead. So right now, I'll still have to copy our styles from the previous project. So I've done those before, so I won't write this from scratch. So copy the styles, style.css, Ctrl A, Ctrl C. So right now we need to just come back to our current project now. So now I'm gonna create a new folder called static inside of our Django app, inside of the app instance. So I'll create this folder called static. Folder has been created already. So now we need to configure this folder in the settings.py. So let's do that right now. So just come to the bottom. So you can see under the static URL, we're going to create a new variable called static files directory. Static files underscore des should be equal to base there. This is the Django base directory / we call the folder static, right? / static. Understand? So perfect. So what we've done is now I'll go into that folder now and create a new file. Understand? So let's do that. So yeah, I'm going to create a new file called a new folder called CSS. So let's create that. Let's say new folder. So I'm going to call this CSS, and in this folder I'll create a new file called style.css. So enter. So that's it there, style.css. So I'm going to copy the code I'm going to paste the code I copied. So these are the codes we copied instead. So fine. So now what we want to do now is we want to link this CSS file to our base template. So let's do that right away. So just under the title tag in the base template, we're going to link the CSS file. So we're going to simply do the Django way. So we'll do this, and then we'll say, how do we do this again? We say simply say static, and then whenever you use double quote outside, you must use a single quote inside. If you use single quote outside, you must use double inside the curly braces. So we're going to simply say static. So our folder, instead the static folder, we have another folder called CSS, then style.css. So I think everything should be perfect now. Okay, so after you've configured it, after you've done this, you must make sure you have this tag imported, low static. If you don't have it, it's going to throw an error. Instance, let's watch. I'm sure everything should be perfect. Instance, so let's see the browser now. Go down to the browser. Let's see if everything works. So I'm going to remove that chat from there. Enter. Oh, the style is not applying, so I don't know what's wrong. Okay, the styles are applying now. I didn't do anything special. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why it's acting weird, but it's working now. So you can see it there. You get, so you can see we don't have any profile pictures. We don't have any user yet. Everything is still static. Understand? So what now? We want to do the same thing for our detail page. Understand? So let's go down to the URLs.py, to the views.py. So now we know we have this index page. Let's work on the details page. Let's make sure everything is configured now. So let's say the detail. So this is where we send our chat message. This is the page we send the chat messages in instance. So we're going to say requests. I'm sure this is recording. Okay, so we say requests and end. So then we return. So we're going to say context. Okay, context should be equal to an empty dictionary for now. And now we're going to return render. So I'm going to render the requests object. So I'm going to simply say my chat app /detail.html, and now we are going to simply have the context dictionary. So everything is fine there now. So this detail view is going to have an extra parameter. Again, you can give it whatever name you like. I'm going to simply call my PK. So now you can give it whatever name you like instead. So I'm calling my PK. So now I need to close some of this stuff. They look quite weird. So now in the URLs.py file, make another URL pattern. So paths, I'm going to call this. So yeah, I'm going to simply say, you can simply say friend. You can simply say friend, or so I'm going to call it friend. Why? Because before we can access, because for us to access the detail page, you must click on one of the friends for the particular logged in user. So in instance, I'm going to simply call it friends. So the name can rhyme. So I'll say friends and / the PK we added in the view in instance. So PK. So this str in front of the PK simply converts the parameter to a string. So I'm going to simply say views.detail. And now we're going to put in the name attribute should be equal to detail instance. So okay, everything should be fine right now. So let's save your work now to the browser. So once you visit chats /friend / any number, anything you had. So I'm going to simply say 1. So let's see. Oh, it's not working. So what's the problem? Oh, I didn't call that friends. If it's friends, that could, okay, it's called friends. So I'm going to change this to friends. It's going to be a single friend you can see at a time. So come out of the browser again and refresh. Oh, still not working. Okay, to solve this problem, I think I know where it's coming from. I've checked all my stuff. Check this. This is correct. So I think it's from the project URLs.py file. So this is the project. So we need to put in a / here instead. We need to put in a / if you don't put in a / here, you need to put that. You need to put it just here. Understand? If you can't do it there, you can just need to do it in front of the ones of the apps URL.py file. But if you don't want to do it here, you can simply just do it once in the project URL.py file by putting a / That's the problem. So let's go down to the browser this time around and refresh, because everything is working. So now we've configured both the index page and the detail page. Understand? So right now template is working fine. So now we're going to go down to the models now and start working on the model. So we'll do that right now. So before we go down to the models, we need to configure where our images will be stored. Instead, if you check the models.py file, we have an image attribute, a picture attribute. So the picture we provide here needs to be stored somewhere. So we need to configure that right now. Okay, so now let's go do the image configuration in Django. So go down to settings.py. So I'm gonna close some of these tabs for now. I don't need them. So go down to settings.py, which we have here. So just at the bottom, when we have the static configuration, just at the bottom of that part. Yes, so now just the same thing, same media URL, not the same thing basically, but it's quite alike. So the media URL should be equal to, let's say, media. Okay, media, yes. So these is the URL you visit before you can access the images in the admin you get. So this is gonna be for the admin. So media. So now I'm gonna create one more variable called media roots. This media roots is where the images will be stored. This is where the pictures will be stored. Media roots. So I'm gonna call this. It's gonna be equal to the. So it's gonna be the base directory slash. So want to make sure that if you watch closely, we have the models.py. If I may open it again, so you can only show you something. We have this upload images. First of all, the pictures will be stored in this folder called img. So then this img folder will then be stored over here. So I'm gonna say static. So I want to make sure the img folder is stored in our static folder we created for the css. They're gonna be stored. So now we are going to have now css folder and then the img folder in so you see that. So now there's this for the, so we've done this for the in the settings.py file. So one more last thing, to go down to the project urls.py file and then do the extra configuration, so which is just says. So now we are going to just come down. So I need to do some importing. I'm going to import the settings. I'm going to simply say from django.conf import settings, from django.conf import settings, and then we're going to then import. So I'm going to simply say I'm going to import the static module. I'm going to simply say from django.urls the static, from django.urls the static. So we're going to import static. So it should be, so if it should be from django.conf, you can see there's a kind of mistake there. From django.conf, perfect, you can see this colored correctly now. So from django.conf.urls imports the static folder. So just at the bottom here, so you're going to simply say URL patterns plus equal to, so you're going to simply say static, then parentheses. So you're going to say settings.media URL media URL underscore URL, and then the document root should be equal to document root. It should be settings rather, not settings. Then document root underscore root should be equal to settings.media media underscore root. So everything is perfect, everything is looking good now. So I think everything is fine. So we're going to run server one more time. Run server. Okay, so server is running fine now. So go down to the models.py file now. I think we need to run migration. So first of all, now I'm going to simply comment this out. We don't need that yet. So I'm going to comment that out right now. So after we've done this, so we need to then go down to our admin file, our admin.py in our app here. So we need to register that model we created. So I'm going to simply say from Django, from .models, let's import profile. So I'm going to simply say admin.site.register. I'll say profile for now. Okay, so now everything is fine now. So now we need to go make migrations. So let's make migrations now. So let's make it out. So we're gonna simply say Python manager.py make migrations. Okay, it should be fine now. Okay, I'm seeing a warning currently. Let's see what the warning reads. So let's continue now. Let's migrate our changes. So we're going to Python manager.py migrate. So now, okay, everything is migrating perfectly. Okay, it's going to take quite some time, so we'll be done in a short time. Okay, so now I'm going to create a super user. I'm going to simply say Python manage.py, create super user, create super user. So I'm going to call this guy Clint. So give me a password. So let's run server. So now everything should be perfect now. So to the browser now, so I'm gonna log in. So I'm gonna close this once for now. Let's log in. So 12/admin. Okay, log in with the credentials right now. Okay, login. So now right now I'm going to create some profiles. So now let's create this together. So let's create some profiles. What's the problem? It logs me out. Let's add some profiles. Oh, there's a kind of problem right here. I'm being logged out. Okay, issue has been fixed. It's from my own end. Don't worry about the error. It's from my end. So I fixed the issue on my PC. So now I'm going to simply add some profiles now. So I'm going to pick this for this user, for the user we just created. So I'm going to give him a name. I'm going to give him Clinton Machuku. So I'm going to give him a profile picture right there. Profile picture. Okay, I think I have this one. Says I'm going to give him this guy. So open. Okay, I think I can add another one. Let's try adding another profile. Understand? So trying to save. So now we only have. So we need to create a new user now. So we're gonna create a new user. So I'm gonna call this guy. Let's call him Mike. So I'm gonna give him a password. So let's save. So I'm gonna call this guy Mike. I just call him Mike Edison. So let's give him a profile picture. I'm gonna give him this one up there. Open. So let's add another one. So I'm gonna add up to 5 profiles. I'm gonna add up to 7. So I'm gonna pause the video and add 5 more. You understand? Okay, right now we have 6 profiles, you understand? So now I'm going to add one more. So you see me do this, I'm going to simply say add profile. So let's add a profile. So I'm going to add you can see, let's add a new user. I'm going to call this user June. So I'm going to call, password. So now just simply save and let's give me, so I'm going to give this guy a name. So I'm going to say June Mike. I say Jane Mark. So now I'm gonna give me a profile picture. So I'm gonna browse through here. I'm gonna give him this one. It does not have a profile picture. So just any profile picture is fine. So now we have 7 of them. Perfect. So now everything is looking good. Understand? So what I want to do now is that I want to, you can see I created some users from the Django admin, and I created a single user from the terminal using the create super user command. So the users I made on the Django admin are not gonna can't log in via the Django admin instance. They can't log in instance. Only the user I created using the create super user command that can log in through the Django admin. So I want to give those other users the ability to be able to log in via the Django admin. You can see now they all have a staff status. You can see it's cancelled out. Only Clint is being ticked in this time because it was created using the create super user admin. So it was created using the create super user command. So now I'm going to give these other users the permission to log in via the Django admin. So just come here. So now just scroll down. Just give these guys staff status and super user status. Everything is fine. They can log in via the Django admin. So save now. Do the same thing for Jane. So let's say super user and staff. Save. So same thing for Jenny. So I'm going to post and do the same thing for the others. So everything done now. You can see all of them are now ticked green. You can see everything is ticked green. Everything is done successfully. So right now we want to go down to the models.py file. I think this is too big. So models.py file. So let's create the friend model. So now we're going to simply, what we want to do is, so now we're going to give it, we are going to give this a new attribute called profile. So we want to connect the friend model to the profile model using the foreign key. So I'm going to simply say profile should be equal to models.one-to-one field. Models, let me show this is recording. Okay, models.one-to-one field. So I'm going to simply say profile. So now we're going to simply say undelete. So whenever we delete the profile, we want to also delete the friend instance. So we're going to simply undelete should be equal to models.cascade. Models.cascade. So now it's now connected. Now that's fine. So now what I want to do next is this. Now, so we're going to connect this friend model to this profile. So we're going to simply say friends should be equal to, a profile can have many friends. So I'm going to use the many-to-many relationship. Understand? A profile can, we're going to use the many-to-many relationship whereby a profile can have many friends and many profiles can also have the same friends. Understand? So I'm going to use a many-to-many relationship. Many-to-many. I only hope you guys are understanding this. Many-to-many. Oh, okay. So now I'm going to simply say, call this should be, this is going to be friend. So let's say friend. I'm going to refer to the friend model, but since it is below the profile, so we're going to put that in a string because it's below the because this friend was declared after the profile model, so we need to put it in a string like this. So now I'm going to also put in the, so for now this is fine. So this is perfect like this because many-to-many relationship does not really require these undelete attributes we have here. Does not need it. Instead, only the foreign key and the one-to-one that requires that. So now, right now I'm going to call the string function here again. I'm going to simply say def underscore str underscore self, and then we're going to simply return profile.name because we want to access the name attributes, and the name, you can see this profile is connected to the profile model, so we want to access the name attribute of this profile. So how I have to just do return profile.name. So now we need to make migrations this time again. So I really hope you guys are understanding this. So we're having a kind of warning. So let's see what the warning says. It says that my chat app profile.friends, so referring to this stuff here. Understand? So reverse query for the my chat app profile.friends clashes with the field name. So they give us an int to solve this problem. So they said we should rename field my chat app.friend profile. So, or they said we should add the relate or change, or they said we should change or add a related name argument to the definition for field my chat app.profile.friends. Okay, so what we need to do now is we simply need to just so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to simply rename this field. Understand this field? So I'm going to just simply say friend profile. That's going to be too long, so I'm not doing that. So I'm going to simply add a related name to this field. Or let's do that. So I'm going to simply say related name. Let's say related name underscore name. Let's just say I'm going to call this my friends. Okay. So I think everything should be fine now. So let's run server and let's see if everything is fine. Perfect. So let's run. We're going to migrate. Let's make migrations. And now migrates. So now let's run server. Oh no, that was a mistake. I mistakenly closed the editor. So right now let's register this friend inside of the admin.py file. So let's do that right away. So I'm gonna close this, guys. Oh, this is the wrong one. Okay, so now let's do that in the admin.py file. So let's register this friend. Okay, so this is admin.py file. So simply import, let's import friend, the friend model, and now I'm going to simply put this inside of a Python list. So let's do that right now. Sorry for the delay. So I'm just so friend now. Perfect. Okay. So now let's go down to the admin.py. So refresh this page once more. You can see we have the friends model. So open it. Okay, nice. So if you check closely now, open these guys. You can see now we now have a friend model. Oh, that's my alarm. Sorry for the noise. That's my alarm. Sorry for that. Okay, so now let's add some friends. So now we're gonna add some friends. So now you can see the friends and the profile are being connected. Instead, if you watch closely, they are being connected over here. So now if you see in the admin, we want to add some friends. So just simply I'm gonna add all these profiles as friend, because if you check a chat application or something like Facebook Messenger, you see every users or every friends are all people's profiles. Instead, every friends there are all people's profile, and let's assume a particular profile can have a list of profiles as friends. Instead, you get, that's how this works now. So a particular profile is you can see all the friends now are all profiles. Instead, I'm gonna pick this guy. I'm gonna save now, another save now. Oh, it says module profile has no attribute name. Okay, I know what this error is coming from. Module profile has no attribute name. So let's see. It's trying to say, I said return profile, return self.profile.name. Oh, so the problem is clear. I should have added self here. So we have been self.profile. Oh, so now the browser again, refresh. So let's see. We send. Okay, it has been added. So if we check now, you can see we have this guy as a friend now, because in a real-time chat you can see we can have several profiles, understand, and a particular profile can have some other profiles as friends. So that's what we are trying to replicate over here. So I'm going to add another friend again. So I'm going to add all these profiles as friends. They are also going to be friends to some other profiles, understand. So I'm going to save again and add another. So let's pick again. So I'm going to pick each of them, understand. So let's do that. Okay, do that again. So for Jennifer Perez, and then for Jean Mark. So let's see. Perfect. Now, so we have friends, so we have profiles. Nice, that's fine. So right now I want to go down to my profile model. So now for Clinton, I'm going to pick some profiles for him as friends, understand. So you can see our friends are also the profiles, understand. So I'm going to pick some profiles for Clinton as friends. So I'm not going to pick myself as a friend to me. Normally in a real-time chat, a profile cannot pick him or herself as a friend, understand. You're going to pick all that profiles. So now this is Clinton over here. So I'm going to pick about 4 to 5 profiles excluding myself. So I'm going to simply say Mark, Pep, John, Jane, and let's say these are enough for me. So I'm going to pick Jennifer. So okay, that's it now. I'm going to simply save. So I'm going to do that for Mike Edison. So I'm going to pick some profiles for him apart from himself. So now he can save now. Do the same thing for Pep Guardiola. So pick some profiles for him apart from himself, excluding himself. So let's do that. So now save, and let's do that for Maxwell. So now I've done that. I have to pause the video and add up these things so I can save time. So now you can see we check the profiles. Now if I check out Jean Mark, you can see his list of friends. He has 6 friends excluding himself. That's fine. So we check out, let's say, Jane Johnson. You can see a list of friends except herself and Jane Mark. So that's it right now. So now what I want to do now is I want to go down to our template. So go down to the template now. So our views.py rather. So now views.py file. Yes, so now right, we can start writing some views logic now. So now I want to get the current logged in user and the current logged in user. I want to get the current profile that is logged in. That's the word. I want to get the current profile that is logged in. So I'll simply say user should be equal to request dot user dot log dot profile. This time we'll check closely with the user and the profile model are being connected. We check your models.py file, you see that up here. So that's what is happening in the views.py now. So let's go the logged in user. So right now I want to get all the friends for this logged in user. So I'll simply say friends. So friends should be equal to user dot. So now simply come down here, and if you check the models.py file, simply say user.friends.all. Understand? User.friends.all will get us all the friends for this logged in user, whereby this user is currently referring to the logged in user. So say user.friends.all. So right now we're going to pass these two data to the context dictionary. So I'm going to simply come down into the context then and pass this stuff. So I'm going to simply say users, and let's see, so it should be user, not users. User, and then let's say user, and after we've done this, so now I'm going to put in friends also, and friends. Perfect. So now after we've done this, now we can then access this in our index.html template. So I'm going to open that template right now. So I need to close some of this stuff, they are not needed. So open the index.html templates, index.html. Let's do this fast. So yeah, so now right there you can see this is what we need. Right there we need the user's profile picture. This image sucks, understand? And there we need the user's username. So now I'm going to simply just come down here and say, let's simply say user dot, I think it's called, let's see what it's called again. I think it's called user dot profile dot peak. Okay, user dot profile. So dot profile dot peak dot URL. So you must add the dot URL for image stuff, in the stand. So dot URL there. And now I'm going to put in the just put in the username over here. Simply just say, I'm going to put in the @ sign and simply do request.user. This is the logged in user. Request.user.username. This is the logged in user directly. This is the logged in user I'm trying to get his username in the stand. So let's see if this works. So go down to the browser, and I guess it should be stuff. So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna move down to the chats now. So let's see. Oh, we have Clint, but we don't have the profile picture yet, so I don't know what is wrong. So let's see what is wrong. In this time, we need to have the profile picture just up here. So go down to the, let's see the views.py file. So let's see the template. This is my mistake. I'm going to remove those profiles. Not needed over there. Why is it not needed? Because on the views.py, I already access the profile attributes here. Understand? So you don't need it here again. So that's a problem. So now go on the browser. Let's see if it works. Refresh the page. Perfect. Because see, we have the logged in. We have the profile that is currently logged in. Understand? So one thing is that why you are trying to follow this tutorial, you need to get something right there now. So what you need to do is that you need to make sure that before you can access this page, you need to have in a logged in user. If you don't have a user logged in, it's going to throw an error. Understand? Because on this page we are trying to access the logged in user. If you don't have any user logged in, there will be an error. Understand? There will be an error. So if I go down here and simply log out now, you watch and see. I'm currently logged out, and if I refresh, you can see I'm having an error saying anonymous user because this particular template requires a user to be logged in, because what we are trying to access here belongs to the logged in user. And before you can access this template, you must make sure you have a user logged in, unless you're going to have that error you saw on the screen. So to fix this error now, I'm going to log in again. Understand? So I'm going to log in again now. So you say client, and please just take note of this. Nice. So avoid this error. Make sure you are logged in. The user is logged in. So now refresh the page. The user is already logged in now, so I'm going to refresh the page now. Perfect. Now, so right now so what I want to do next is that I want to return the list of friends for this profile that is logged in. See, we check the views.py file currently. You can see we have all the friends for this profile. You can see we have all the friends for this particular logged in profile. So now just come down to the index.html. First of all, we have this. I'm going to clear the duplicate cards. I'm going to remove them. We just need one. The for loop is going to create the remaining one for us. You should know this. So now right now I'm going to simply bring out, so I'm going to simply loop through, because this friend returns a query set. So I'm going to loop through the query set and so I can access each of the items in this query set instance. So the index.html file, simply come down here and run a for loop. So now simply say for friend in friends. So now I'm going to simply end the for loop here. And so now let's see what it looks like. So now we're going to have all the friends. So you can see now we have all the friends for this profile. So I want to put in their pictures and their names. So let's do that right now. So now just come down here where we have this picture. So now in this source attributes, now I'm going to put in the pictures, and I'm going to say friend.profile. So now you can see this picture, the picture attribute is actually in the profile model. So to access that, you need to access this profile first, then come down and pick up this picture, because if you check here, this profile is connected to the profile model, so we have access to the fields in the profile model. So now let's do that right now. So come down here again and say there's a place friends.profile.pic.url. so now for the name, do the same thing. So let me say friend.profile.name. Okay, so let's see how it looks like. Perfect. I think this is looking good right now. So now the next step now is that I want to make sure that whenever we click on any of the friend we have here, I want to make sure that we can access the chats page for a particular friend. Understand? If I click on Pep Guardiola, I want to be able to access the chat page for Pep Guardiola. If I click on Mike Edison, I want to be able to access the chat page for Mike Edison. So that's the next step. So we are doing that next. So let's do that. Okay, so now let's continue. So now let's work on the views.py file. So today we are going to work on the next function. Understand, this detail function. So just there. So now I want to be able to access each friend by their profile. Understand, by their profile ID. So now let's do that right now. So I'm going to simply say friend should be equal to friend. So I need to import friend on top. Okay, I need to just simply say from Django dots. So I'm simply say from dot models rather, from dot models import. I'm going to simply say let's import the profile and the friend model, profile and friend. So now just here now simply say friend.objects .get. Let's say friends.object.get profile underscore ID. So I want to get the friend by the profile ID. Understand? So I want to get the friend by this profile ID. Understand? So what I'm trying to do this. So you need to get the friend by the profile ID. So now let's do that. So profile underscore ID should be equal to PK. So now that's it now. So right here, I'm going to simply pass this friend to the context. And let's do that friend. Okay. So now I think you can, so now I'm going to go down to the template now, which is detail.html. Just scroll down to the bottom. Just Okay, I think here. So now I think you need to just put in here, you need to pass in that stuff we copied. Understand? So what we have here is friend. So now let's call the friend here. So we'll simply say friend dot profile dot pic dot url. So now I want to get the friend name also. I think that should be up here. So let's say friend dot profile dot name. Okay, so that's it for this page. So right now I'm going to go down to the index.html. So now we've made up the detail page already, but we need to add some links to this particular index page. So whenever you click on any of these, we can access their chat page. Understand? So just come down here. So this is the index.html file. So right here I'm going to pass in this URL for the detail. Understand? So now just come here and let's do that. So I'm going to simply do this. So say URL, so detail, and now we're going to simply say friend dot profile dot id. So this is going to be the pk this is going to be the pk in the us.py file. Understand? So this should work now. So let's see. So now save your code, save, and let's click on mic editing. You can see we have mic editing here. Perfect. We'll click on Pep Guardiola, we have Pep. If you click on John Maxwell, we have John. Because everything is fine. Click on Jane Johnson, we have Jane. So it's fine now. So now we have been able to configure the index page and the detail page. Everything is working perfectly fine. So this comes to the end of part 1 of the series. So thank you for watching. So part 2 coming up next. So thank you for watching now. So subscribe and like this video, and I recommend Bluehost for you for web hosting. If you want to start a blog to document your coding journey, I recommend Bluehost. Link below. Sign up with the link below. You understand? So watch us for part 2. Part 2 coming up in a few days time. So thank you for watching.